G'day guys. Now, if you notice a few more cuts today than usual, I am pup sitting Bez today, so say g'day to him. Firstly, I hope that you're all well, and let's have a look at the maps, and then we'll talk about a very important Russian aircraft that has been hit and what that means. So guys, my maps haven't actually updated for today, which is very annoying, but I promise tomorrow I'll have it all across to you, and I will do the best that I can with what I have. So yesterday we reported a dam to the northeast of Bakhmut was compromised to halt the Russian advance. That said, I'm still yet to see any footage confirming this, other than some faster flowing rivers. And I don't doubt that this happened at all, but with so many drones in the air in this war, I'm very surprised not to see any of the damage this has caused, with Russian sources claiming it is a massive amount of flooding and the Ukrainian sources saying it is halting the advance. I'm just surprised not to have seen this. So if we go yesterday, if we go back in time here, on the live UA maps, they do have an icon saying the dam pond was blown up northwest Bakhmut, and that the Russian forces gave us this nice little graphic here showing the sense of flooding down through these streams into here, into Bakhmut. And my point is, I'm surprised that we haven't seen more footage of this if it was to that level that the Russian forces, if we bring this back up, are claiming of this amount. I'm surprised we haven't been seeing much of that. But if we go back to the most recent live UA maps we have, let's have a look and compare this across both the Russian map and the ISW map. So you can see that the other dam up here is still very close to the Russian side. And if you look on the ISW map, this other dam is saying that it is at least claimed Russian control. And on some of the Russian sources, they are saying that they have control up to that dam. So this is the Rybar Russian sources. They're saying that control up and right onto the south side of this dam, and at least getting control on the northern side of that other dam wall here. And they're also showing this icon here, which is the dam burst as well. So it's hard to know what is exactly what, but I have had it described to me that the dams are a pin in the Bakhmut grenade. Now, we also have some drone footage showing from Russian sources, showing some of the areas we've spoken about, and we'll have a look on the map, and the amount of devastation is just catastrophic in some of this footage. So the first bit of footage, this is all from Russian sources, I need to say, but Deep State Map has put up the footage with a pin drop to the location of it. So if we have a look at this location and we go onto Google Maps, so we have this in the 24, and we drop down into here. Let's drop onto this one, and we have a look at what this was like before the invasion. These buildings all up, treed. Now this, of course, is a different time of year. It was taken October 2021. But let's have a look at this footage. We can just see the level of devastation through this area. The trees all stripped. Every building here not only damaged, but heavily damaged to the point of absolutely disrepair. And we've seen the amount of shelling, the amount of fighting in these regions is huge. It's catastrophic. And you can just see as we're flying around the amount, and these are floating around Twitter from Russian sources. We also speak a lot about Vuhledar, and if we go onto the map and come down into Vuhledar, we know in here has been where Russia have been commencing so many assaults trying to get this area, as we know it is very tactically important. Only today Russian 71 attacks across these regions. Now that's across multiple regions, but that they have little success in this region. But success on taking ground is one thing, but success by shelling of just flattening somewhere is somewhere else. So this is apparently a drone footage from Vuhledar, again from Russian sources claimed to be that region. As well, we talk a lot about Mariinka. We have been here multiple times on the ground with Google Maps as well. And if we have a look, this is what they're saying and showing. This massive amount of devastation here on the ground. Tanks moving across. So we have tanks moving through, firing on positions, and this drone footage is just showing the level of devastation in this region is just absolutely unbelievable. And look how close range this fighting is. There's a tank down in between these two buildings here we saw before, and we'll see him fire into this building here, no more than across the street. So the sense of fighting there is absolutely unbelievable. You know, firing straight across into these buildings. You know, those areas are absolutely hell on earth. But look, that's all the map updates I have for you today. I apologize again, but that's all I've got to go through. We will in the next 24 hours. There'll be another one, and I'll have all these map updates for you. So thank you very much, and on with the rest of the video. Now, the big news of the day is that a Russian A-50, which is an AWACS, an airborne early warning and control aircraft, has been hit deep within Belarusian territory, and speculation varying from that it's been destroyed all the way to nothing happened. Now, to be fair, it's always probably somewhere in the middle, with most reports saying significant damage to the front, center parts of the airplane, avionics, and the radar antenna. Now, if this is correct, this would represent the most important loss of a single platform since the sinking of the cruiser Moskva earlier in this conflict. Reportedly, there are 40 of these Russian aircraft were made, but most of these are not apparently in working order. Some say maybe 15, with 6 to 7 upgraded to the A-50U, the upgraded variant, with a staggering cost reportedly at $500 million US. Now, any AWACS is hugely expensive. For instance, for a comparison, I guess, the cost of 5 E-7 Wedgetails for the Australian program was at $2.67 billion. Now, people will point out that Russia does have a new variant of this aircraft called the A-100, but it is currently only a prototype. And according to state-owned companies responsible for the design, the A-100 Premier Next Generation Airborne Early Warning and Control Plane has flown for the first time with its radar turned on. This was in February the 11th, 13 days before the start of the war. It's reported the A-100, which first flew in 2017, is intended to provide a significant boost in capability over the Russian aerospace forces, the existing A-50 and the A-50U mainstay airborne early warning and control aircraft, which are bereaved conversions based on the older IL-76 variant. The premier most notable features are entirely new radar, which has active electronic scanning functionality and elevation, though it still uses mechanical standing azimuth. Now, questions are being raised before the 2022 invasion as to the development of this aircraft after the Russian newspaper published a story asserting that Western sanctions on the country are already hampering the development of this aircraft. And this is before the recent slew of sanctions since 2022. So it'll still likely be many years before the Russian aerospace forces receive any significant number of these new airborne early warning platforms, if any, with the sanctions. But people are pointing at pro-Ukrainian Belarusian partisan groups and speculating that a small drone may have been used to hit the aircraft. Now, the head of Bipol, Alexander Azarov, says these were drones. The participants in the operation are Belarusians, participants in the Peremoga plan. And now they are safe outside the country. Everyone has left. Let them now look for wind in the field. Now, what is Bipol? Now, according to Wikipedia, the Association of Security Forces of Belarus, also known as Bipol, is a Belarusian organization that was created by former employees of law enforcement agencies to counter the Belarusian authorities. The association has channels on YouTube and Telegram on which it publishes various videos related to the security forces and also doxes law enforcement officials. The initiative opposes President Lukashenko and also does not recognize his legitimacy. Their primary goal is the unification of law enforcement officers who do not support the government into an organized structure ready to overthrow the current government in Belarus. But what we need to do is now wait for more information, because as of yet, nothing is really that confirmed, and we haven't seen any photographic evidence. And there's an unbelievable amount of information coming from both sides. So what we need to do is just hold our horses and, currently, and just wait on what comes out, because I'm sure what exactly happened as far as how much damage is caused will come out very soon. Now, what actually is AWACS? Well, AWACS provides situational awareness of friendly, neutral, hostile activity, command and control of the area of responsibility, battle management of theatre forces, all altitude, all weather surveillance of the battle space, and early warning of enemy actions on joint allied operations. Essentially, it provides airspace surveillance and early detection of airborne threats, to early warning for Russian planes, targeting of Ukrainian planes, tracking Russian missiles, and then Ukrainians' countermeasures for those missiles, their air defense. And this is a very critical piece of equipment. And we've spoken before about if F-16s are delivered to Ukraine from the West, would there be a need to also provide Ukraine with AWACS capability to maximize the effectiveness of these fighters? Also, the expected major Ukrainian counteroffensive in spring is reportedly to include striking airfields and depots of rockets and artillery systems inside Russia. As we know, the strikes against these areas inside Russia have been few and far between without Western support, and Russia has taken advantage of this sort of immunity on their boundary, their border. Vadim Skibitsky, the deputy head of Ukrainian military intelligence, told the German newspaper Berliner Morgenpost, "It is one of our strategic military goals that we try to drive a wedge in the Russian front in the south between Crimea and Russia. It is possible that we will also destroy arms depots or military equipment on Russia's territory, for example, around the city of Belgorod." President Volodymyr Zelensky vowed to liberate Crimea as he marked yesterday the 9-year anniversary of Russia's annexation, saying, "This is our land, our people, our history. We will return the Ukrainian flag to every corner of Ukraine." Now, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you very much for your support as always. If you would like to support me further, there are links below. You can do that, but also never feel obliged. So thank you very much. Have a great day.